How I Beat My First Extreme Demon, a 7-Year Journey. Chapter 1. Humble Beginnings. I started playing Geometry Dash all of 7 years ago, in November of 2018. Just like many others, I found out about the game because of Eric Van Wilderman. Back then, I was just a kid. And really, I still am. I'm only 14. But I remember vividly the days when I was trying to beat all of the main levels. Practice it, watch a coin tutorial, spend at least half an hour trying to beat it. Practice the next level, watch another coin tutorial, and so on. It took me more than 100 attempts for every main level, including all the easy ones, except for Back on Track and Poltergeist. And then there were the demon main levels. Club Step, Theory of Everything 2, and Deadlocked. They were always completely out of reach, so I tried the online levels. I remember I would turn on the demon filter and try every single level, and I did that for 2 reasons. Number 1, demon levels give way more orbs than any other difficulty. Numbers going up made me happy. And number 2, I felt within me that, however small it may be, there was a chance I could actually beat one of them. You see, ever since the beginning, I had always wanted to beat a demon. It just felt like the ultimate sign that you were a true Geometry Dash player. I never could. At least, that was until Chapter 2. My first demon. After getting Geometry Dash, I played off and on for a couple years. Then, I took a large break. About 2 years, in fact. But then, 3 years ago, I started playing again. Surprisingly, I wasn't that much worse than before I stopped playing for such a long break, but I was still playing on mobile. Anyway, I decided that once and for all, I was going to beat a demon. The obvious first choice was the Nightmare. I mean, it barely qualified as a demon even back then. So I practiced it, and I practiced it, and I practiced it some more. And after 325 attempts, I finally beat it. My first ever demon. And what was the first thing I did after beating my first ever demon? Maybe I told my friends? Maybe I celebrated with my family? Nope. I made a post on my account. And even now, one of the first things I do when I beat a notable demon is make an account post. There's one thing to remember about the Nightmare, though. In most people's journeys, it's only the first step. And that leads us to Chapter 3. Stepping Stones. After I beat the Nightmare, I wanted to beat more demons. But apparently, not before taking yet another, thankfully shorter this time, break. Anyway, my second demon was the Lightning Road, which I beat in under 100 attempts. Second was Shiver, third was Platinum Adventure, then Crescendo, Speed Racer, and finally Demon Mixed. All of those were beaten in under 400 attempts, averaging 200 attempts each. This was where I took, you guessed it, another break. And after that, I entered Chapter 4, the Penultimate Era. This is where the story starts getting good. Just 8 months ago, I got back into Geometry Dash. By the way, I'm getting most of this timeline from my Geometry Dash account posts, so it won't be fully accurate. But I do know that this is a good general representation of my beginnings. Back to the video. My return was marked with the greatest achievement yet. After no less than 1,959 attempts, I beat Club Step. It was the hardest level I'd ever beaten, and my attempt count, and very enthusiastic account post, was evidence of that. I realized that the chance was now, and beat Theory of Everything 2, just 1 week later, dragging in 1,318 attempts. This was also when I hit 1,000 stars. My next demon actually was not Deadlocked. As much as I wanted to, I could not seem to make good progress on it, so I decided to take a break and play some other demons. First, I beat Blue Hell in 303 attempts, marking my 10th classic demon. Then Fjork in 268 attempts, marking my 20th demon overall. But here's where I decided it was time to beat my first medium demon. You see, I had no idea that within each individual demon difficulty, there was a wide range of actual difficulties. I didn't know about the Geometry Dash Demon Ladder, or Geometry Dash Demon Progression, or anything else like that. My hardest level, Club Step, or Toe 2, was only a mid-tier easy demon, but my planned first medium demon was also pretty close to the middle, with a GDDL tier of 7, so it would be a jump, however small of a jump you consider it. But I decided I was ready to beat my first medium demon, so I did. By the way, we're going to get to the longest chapter soon, so I think now's a good time to ask you to like this video if you're enjoying it, and subscribe if you want to see more of my content. Thanks! Chapter 5. The Beginning of the End. The first medium demon I ever beat, and my hardest level at the time by a long shot, was Verity. It took me 1,666 attempts. One funny thing I'd like to mention is that, since I was still playing on mobile, every time I got to the robot part, I had to turn up my screen brightness a bunch just to see where it started. And then once I got past it, I'd set the brightness back down to wherever it usually was. Another funny thing, as of writing the script, my older brother is currently trying to beat Verity. Anyway, I wanted to beat another medium demon to keep the momentum going, but I couldn't find one that looked both easy and fun. So I went back to easy demons and beat Speed of Light in 391 attempts. And this is where I took, say it with me, another break. This one was only 5 months, however, and when I started playing again, my skill underwent Chapter 6, Exponential Growth. So far, after a bit over 7 years, I went from main levels to a single medium demon. Not what I would call impressive, but this is where the story gets really good. About 2 or 3 months ago, I came back and started the grind to beat Deadlocked, and this time, it actually wasn't that bad. It only took me 1,139 attempts. After that, I found Beru, a high-tier XXL medium demon by Jonathan GD. It looked like the level I wanted to beat next, but I decided it could wait in favor of working up to it with a few other medium demons, but not before using my muscle memory to absolutely destroy Invisible Clubstep, which isn't very invisible to be fair, in only 46 attempts. My second medium demon was Podal because I had always wanted to beat it, but forgot about it until then. I beat it in 403 attempts. After that, I gave in to the pressure and beat B in 623 attempts, teasing my next demon in the account post. Oh, by the way, after I beat B, I finally made the switch from mobile to my gaming laptop. So now, as you might have guessed, I beat Beru. Taking me a solid 1,928 attempts, it was a good new hardest. Again, I teased my follower, singular, in the account post saying, "Hard demon soon." After somewhat careful consideration, and at least 20 minutes of browsing GDDL, I decided on what my first hard demon would be. So, after 1,878 attempts, and my dad saying that I had essentially just failed almost 2,000 times in a row, which was hilarious, I beat my first hard demon, Forsaken Neon. I'll just remind you that this was less than 2 months ago. Anyway, after that, I took a break from really difficult levels to beat Problematic in 979 attempts, the account post for which mentioning that I might stop posting about easy demons. After beating Problematic, I beat 2 medium demons in the span of a couple days, Kiln and Infrahido by Tried. After that, I decided to beat another hard demon, so in 1,653 attempts, I beat Jawbreaker. In the account post, I joked, "I'm officially wave carried," because I had just beaten Problematic and earlier, when I beat Podal, mentioned that it felt like an easy demon, but also said might be wave carried, unironically. My next hard demon, just like Jawbreaker, was not a new hardest. It was the Roadrunner by DieXDI. I'll take this moment to say that the Roadrunner is my favorite level that I have ever beaten, hands down. The gameplay is super fun and unique, the decoration really fits the vibe of the song, and the song was so much better than I thought it would be. I beat the Roadrunner as my third hard demon in only 623 attempts. My next notable demon would be a new hardest, Wave and Also UFO by NPLSM. It is also incredibly unique, though I didn't enjoy it as much. I beat Wave and Also UFO in 935 attempts. Might have noticed that none of my demon completions took more than 2,000 attempts, and yeah, I noticed that too, which made it all the more painful that my next hardest and first insane demon, Acropolis, took 4,990 attempts, and I died at 98%, 80% 3 times, and once was so nervous that my eyes involuntarily closed, causing my death at the last wave. And it was the first level to actually give me hand pain from playing it. Yeah, beating Acropolis was abysmal. But there is one good thing about beating Acropolis. It was the final push that made me get a SEO device. That was 4 weeks ago. Now we get into Chapter 7, the Modern Era. After I beat Acropolis and my only proof was a 30-second clip of the last part with no clicks and terrible quality, I realized I should probably start actually recording when I play. So I got OBS. After I got OBS, I decided to try playing Kuiper. I did make good progress, getting 79% in about 3,500 attempts, but I decided to drop it for 2 reasons. Kuiper was really unfun. It had lots of choke points, the gameplay was boring, and the deco was really nothing special. This might remind you of Acropolis, which I didn't drop. The difference is that Kuiper wasn't even the new hardest. It would essentially be a drop in the water when it came to my progress. After dropping Kuiper, I finally got Geode because, why not? And remember how I said I had wanted to beat Beru ever since I only had one medium demon? Well, I also wanted to beat Future Funk, but I had forgotten all about it until I got globed and checked the top levels. That was when I realized my destiny, to beat Future Funk and globed. So I did, and it only took me 1,483 attempts. It was my 50th overall demon. After beating Future Funk, I cooled down by beating Red Dart and a few other easy demons all in the span of 12 hours, which is wildly different to how long it would have taken me just 3 months ago. Then I moved on to my hardest level. It's a timing level with a few gimmicks. Number 1, it's entirely cube. Number 2, it's entirely 1x speed. And number 3, it has no groups and no triggers. Some of you may already know what this level is just because of that third one, but for those who don't, it is Wilt, which took me 3,735 attempts in total, and a bit over 1,000 attempts from 0 to beat. I beat Wilt only 6 days ago as of writing this, which is probably like a month ago as of uploading this. Anyway, now is the part you've all been waiting for. This is the part where I beat my first extreme demon. In my mind, I had 3 choices. I could beat Aku. It was the easiest of the bunch, but very basic, and honestly, I don't like learning gameplay. I could beat Cataclysm, harder than Aku, but easier than the third choice. It would help prepare me for Bloodbath, which I wanted to beat eventually. It's also pretty basic, though. Or, I could do the third option, Roby. Roby is a level many of you probably have never heard of. In fact, the only reason I knew about it is because of Vortrox's 100 Days of Extreme Demons challenge. So shout out Vortrox. Roby is harder than Aku and Cataclysm, being around 1,250 on the all-rated Extreme Demons list, or Ardle. It's also only 59 seconds long, meaning it will have harder gameplay in general. Its gameplay centers around timings and chip, and is, in my opinion, very front-heavy. I really enjoyed playing Roby. I beat Roby in 7,061 attempts across only 5 days, but Chapter 8, what comes next? Now that I've beaten my first extreme demon, it leaves me thinking, what now? What's the next step? Well, ever since I realized that beating an extreme demon was within the realm of possibility, there were two demons that came to mind when I thought of an end goal: Bloodbath and Sonic Wave. Bloodbath because of its popularity in song, and Sonic Wave because of its difficulty in song. I really like songs. But of course, I'm not just going to jump from an entry extreme to Bloodbath, and definitely not Bloodbath to Sonic Wave. But I need your help deciding what extreme demons to play in between. So, if you know any good extreme demons in between Roby and Sonic Wave difficulty, but avoiding Bloodbath difficulty, I'd love it if you could comment them down below. Recently, I have also grown a liking for XO by Kermel, so that will be the extreme demon right before Sonic Wave, since they're very similar in difficulty. But for now, I'll just enjoy the fact that I've beaten an extreme demon. And, by the way, as of recording this voiceover, I just beat Cataclysm as a fluke from 41% in 2,223 attempts. Anyway, thank you so much for watching to the end. I really appreciate it. As of making this, I only have 100 subscribers, so once again, if you could please like and subscribe, that would mean the world to me. Bye!